We wanted to join because of threats from Russia. An 8th grader in Huntington Beach has used artificial intelligence to help prevent fires. The 14-year-old's research on utilizing AI to detect wildfires in their early stages has won several awards and grants. He says the sensors are battery operated and cost only $10. He says he hopes this technology can prevent major fires from happening, like the 200-acre fire that burned in Laguna Niguel earlier this month. Now taking a look at KFI traffic, we've got traffic backing up in Corona.
That's on the 91 eastbound before Green River Road is blocking the 3 right lanes. We found out why these 3 lanes have been blocked for so long. There's a big rig on its side, so an overturned big rig that is closing these lanes. The left lane is the only lane that remains open. Stop traffic goes back to Weir Canyon Road or Yorba Linda Boulevard. Then in Urbandale on the 210 eastbound at Mount Olive Drive, that off-ramp is going to be closed due to a work zone until 5 p.m. Then good news on the 210 westbound before Angeles Crest Highway. A stall has been cleared from lanes, so your drive will be recovering there. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Vince Cull.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. So, you're ready to build your dream kitchen. Okay, what's your first move? I'm going to say it should be a totally free in-showroom consultation with my friends at the kitchen store. That means you get 2 things right out of the gate. The creativity and the wisdom of an expert kitchen designer, while you're being flooded with inspiration in the kitchen store's 7,000 square foot cabinet design showroom. The kitchen store is right off the 405 in Culver City, and for more than 50 years, it has been the best place for kitchen cabinets in all of Southern California. State-of-the-art computer design, 12 months, same as cash financing, and pricing that beats the big box home center. So start your new kitchen right. Set up your free consultation today by dialing 310-KITCHEN. That's 310-KITCHEN, and check out the kitchen store on the web at 310kitchen.com.
Southline weather from KFI. Low clouds and fog, then sunny by the afternoon. Lows in the mid-60s at the beaches, mid-60s to low 70s in Metro LA and OC. Upper 60s to mid-70s in the inland valleys. Some patchy drizzle this morning in the Inland Empire, and then it's going to stay cloudy through the afternoon. Highs in the low to upper 70s. Mild temperatures continuing throughout this Memorial Day weekend. Right now it's 63 degrees in Irvine, 62 in Fountain Valley, 61 in Culver City, and 61 in Inglewood. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Brian Bruin.
Everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. You're listening to Home. I'm Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. Wow, they just keep going, don't they? They're just going. Sitting in their kitchen, they're just going. Custom home builder, custom home designer, that's what I am. Here with you live like I am every weekend. Saturdays from 6 to 8, Sundays from 9 to 11. It is just a little after 7 o'clock, so welcome to the second hour of our fine program. What are we all about? We're here to help. To be an advocate for you as you wrestle with construction issues, to be a design mentor, because design matters most when it comes to transforming your home, and just to be a friend, helping you build yourself a more beautiful home, a more beautiful life, and do it more affordably and more artfully than you ever imagined. We are in the middle of answering a very special list, what we call common listener questions. Not just the occasional question. No, we get these again and again. These are kind of pervasive questions that we get asked on a regular basis. So we thought, you know what, let's set a show aside and answer a few of them. So with that, without any further ado, let's go back to it. Tina, what do we got next?
How can I tell if I have a plumbing leak? That's a common one for us, especially with copper failing.
True. Okay, so the easiest way to figure out that you have a plumbing leak, if you suspect, now, obviously, if there's a wet spot on the floor or the wall or the ceiling, you may have a plumbing leak. But I think the real
Sometimes you'll get a letter from the water company and they'll say, you know, we've noticed that you've had this large amount of water, more than normal for the last 24 hours, so you may have a leak.
Yes. Okay. So, and if you get a letter like that from the water company, the first culprit usually to look at is to go out and activate your sprinklers. Activate your sprinkler system, run through all the circuits on your sprinkler system, because what I have found the most common thing is sprinklers are going off, nobody's paying attention to them. Hopefully, in Southern California, your sprinklers are set to go off at nighttime, not during the day. But then again, when that happens, you're not really paying attention to them. And if you have lost a sprinkler head, you know, you may have a geyser out there, you may be consuming a lot of water out of that system, way more than you normally would. It doesn't mean you have a leak. It just means that you're blowing water unnecessarily through an open sprinkler line while the sprinklers are running. Okay, but putting that aside and any other sign of a visible leak, there's actually a really easy way to tell. And it has been provided to you by the company that made your water meter. So first of all, know where your water meter is. Your water meter is out on the edge of your property, out in front, near the street. It's very likely in the parkway, in between the sidewalk and the curb, if you have a parkway. The water meter's got a cover on it. That cover can be lifted off super easy. If it's a little bit, junked in there with mud or whatever, then take out a screwdriver, bring a long screwdriver with you and put it in the hole and kind of pry it out. But the cover will come off. Be careful reaching down inside there, because it's the kind of place that is damp and covered up most of the time. And so, creepy crawlers like to hide out in there. There's probably some snails in there, or maybe a black widow spider. So just be careful about that. But you will find underneath that cover your water meter. And on the top of your water meter is a little cap that covers up the dial. Flip up that cap, and you will find the dial. It looks like an odometer on your car. And because it is sitting there measuring the amount of gallons of water you are consuming that the water company is going to charge you for. Right on that dial, ignore the big numbers on the odometer. Look for a tiny little star. Sometimes it's a triangle. Sometimes it's star-shaped. Sometimes it's a funky other shape. But it's a tiny little dial indicator. It's either black or red or yellow. And if you are not sure, if you think you're looking at it but you're not sure, the best way to tell is to have somebody turn on some water inside the house. Flip on a faucet at a sink. That little dial is the infinitesimal water leakage dial. In other words, that tiny little dial, if any water at all, is moving through the water meter, that dial will turn. It may turn slowly, it may turn fast. That is your leak indicator dial. So, if you suspect you might have a leak, or somebody has put it in your head that you might have a leak, then simply make sure no water is being consumed anywhere on the property. All faucets are off. The dishwasher isn't running. The laundry isn't going. There's no demands whatsoever. Go out to the water meter, turn it on. Turn it on. Open it up, look at the dial, and if that little indicator is not moving, you do not have a leak in your system. If it is moving, then somewhere water is being consumed. And then the next step is to figure out where. Usually unfortunately, when there is a leak that you cannot see moisture on walls or ceilings or anything like that, especially in an older home in Southern California, there's a good chance it's happening in the slab. And so if you are convinced you have a leak, you call out a leak detection service. They'll scan the slab, try and find the accumulated water underneath, and then you have to deal with it from there. It may be time to abandon the copper pipes that are down below the slab and repipe those supply lines overhead. But that is how it's done. Okay, really good question. I know you got a ton more. We'll dive back in with Tina's question. Well, they aren't Tina's questions, but she's reading them as we return. I'm so glad you joined me this morning. So much more to come. You're listening to Home with Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. Let's hear the news.
I'm Brian Ruman, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Governor Newsom and the Prime Minister of New Zealand have signed a pledge agreeing to help fight climate change together. A man from Northern California has admitted to planning to firebomb the Democratic Party's headquarters after Donald Trump lost the 2020 election as part of a plea deal. And a woman who punched a flight attendant on a flight and broke that woman's teeth has been sentenced to 15 months in federal prison, has to pay over $30,000 in penalties, and she's banned for flying for 3 years. We're going to take a look at some trouble in Irwindale next.
Hey all, it's Dean Sharp. I want to tell you about the good folks at Aldic Home. In business for more than 60 years, Aldic is Southern California's premier Christmas and holiday shopping destination, but that's because Aldic is the unrivaled master of life-like silk flowers, decorative trees, and all those one-of-a-kind accessories and finishing touches for your home. But did you also know that Aldic Home carries the finest custom outdoor furniture? More than 20 different lines and settings of summer classics. How good is summer classics? Come see for yourself. Aldic doesn't even want you to buy it. Just come down to Aldic and experience it. Take it for a test drive or a sit. Hang out. Bring the fam. And then go anywhere else and compare that experience. Aldic knows you'll be back for the highest grade of teak, aluminum, and woven resin furniture anywhere. You'll find Aldic on Sepulveda Boulevard in Van Nuys and on the web at aldichome.com. That's ALDIK home.com.
Taking a look at KFI traffic, we've got a work zone in Irwindale.
That is on the 210 eastbound at Mount Olive Drive, and there is a work zone that is closing the off-ramp, and it's until 5 p.m. today, and then into Corona. On the 91 eastbound before Green River Road, there's a crash closing the 3 right lanes. A big rig is on its side closing the 3 right lanes. Only the left lane is open. That is backing up traffic to Weir Canyon Road. Finally, good news in downtown LA on the 101 southbound before the 110. A crash has been cleared from lanes, so your drive will be improving there. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Vince Call.
This report is sponsored by Panera. There are so many words they could use to describe Panera's new Chef's Chicken sandwiches. But when you have a bite, you might just be left speechless. Panera, the familiar made fantastic. Enjoy a $1 delivery fee when you order on their app. Restrictions apply. This report is sponsored by Panera.
If your business has 5 or more employees and survived COVID, you're eligible to receive a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. The challenge is getting your hands on it. Hi, I'm Howard Mackler, and that's exactly why I founded GetRefunds.com to cut through the red tape and get you the money. We are specialists in this little-known payroll tax refund program. GetRefunds.com does all the work, charges not a dime up front, and simply shares a percentage of the cash that we get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those who took PPP, nonprofits, and even those that had increases in sales. Don't lose out on up to $26,000 per employee. This payroll tax refund is only available for a limited period of time. The team at GetRefunds.com has returned over $1 billion to businesses, and we can help you too. Just go to GetRefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. That's GetRefunds.com. No risk, high reward. GetRefunds.com.
Do you want out of your house for whatever reason? Maybe you're moving or downsizing, there are financial issues, maybe you inherited it.
Selling a home usually means hours of painting and cleaning and staging. But what if you could sell your home for a fair price without any of that hassle? The buyer never had to walk through your home. You could sell it without an appraisal, no commissions, no fees.
What if you could get paid in cash and get it done fast, like in 10 days or less? This is exactly what DirectBuyers.com will do.
DirectBuyers.com is a local family-owned business. They've been around since the mid-'80s. We've talked with the owners, Janet and Matt, wonderful people, They care about their clients.
You don't want to go to a national call center. These are the people we trust. Do not sell your home until you talk to directbuyers.com. See what they can offer you. They will give you an honest, no obligation offer. They can even get you $15,000 cash advance before closing to help with your move.
They're not going to lowball you. Go to directbuyers.com. Directbuyers.com. 844-242-SELL. That's 844-242-SELL. directbuyers.com.
When Natalie was diagnosed with cancer, she took control of her health. When Natalie wanted to help other people with cancer, she became a doctor. When Natalie wanted to make quality care affordable, she became a researcher. When Natalie's patients needed innovative treatments, she found them. Conquer Cancer supports researchers like Dr. Natalie McKenzie so we can conquer every cancer for every patient, everywhere. Cancer research saves lives. Learn more at conquer.org. That's conquer.org.
On abortion and guns, the leading candidates for California Attorney General are very different. Eric Early is a conservative Republican, pro-Trump, pro-guns, and pro-life. Democrat Rob Bonta is fighting the NRA and supports abortion rights. If you care about Roe versus Wade, remember to vote early before the June 7th election for Attorney General. Ad paid for by Communities for Justice, supporting Rob Bonta for Attorney General 2022. Committee major funding from California Correctional Peace Officers Association. Not authorized by a candidate or committee controlled by a candidate.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. I want to speak to the dads who are being denied access to their kids, excluded from key parenting decisions, are contending with child support issues. In all of these cases, doing nothing is probably not a good strategy. The law has given you rights, but you have to assert them. If the challenge is the cost of an attorney, Cordell & Cordell offers a capped fee option. Give us a call.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's California area attorneys. 1455 Frazee Road, Suite 500, San Diego, California, 92108.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. The Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, guarantees equal access to the disabled as a constitutional right. The problem is, even though it's been the law of the land since 1990, most brick-and-mortar businesses and commercial properties and multi-unit dwellings are still not in compliance. Your property or place of business without a CASP certification is a lawsuit waiting to happen. And if you think, it's not a big deal, you should know that California leads the country in ADA lawsuits. So what do? You call RCOR. RCOR will identify your ADA deficiencies and show you the path to the certification you need to minimize your exposure. One ADA lawsuit can break you. Get out in front of liability with ADA certification from RCOR. Call RCOR toll-free at 866-613-2519. That's 866-613-2519, or go to adagurus.com.
Hey, it's Neil Saavedra from the Ford Report. Whatever your plans are for Memorial Day weekend, take KFI AM 640 and thousands of other stations wherever you go on the free iHeartRadio app. Whatever you're doing, we have the perfect soundtrack ready to go for the unofficial start of summer. Thousands of playlists like Songs of the Summer, loaded with the biggest summer hits of all time. Or relax by the pool and binge a bunch of Fort Report podcasts. That sounds fun. It's all waiting for you right now on the free iHeartRadio app. Discover music, radio, and podcasts you'll love.
I just got on a craving train for sliders. What's like that quintessential slider?
I don't like cheese on it. I'm feeling the energy and I'm feeling a bit judged.
Seriously, are you feeling judged right now?
Are you judging me for not liking cheese on it?
I am. I just wanted to make sure you could feel it from this distance.
The Fort Report with Neil Saavedra this afternoon at 2 on KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
Sharp, the House Whisperer, at your service. I'm so glad you joined me this morning. Hey, I would love to talk to you about what's going on with your home today. So coming up in a few minutes, we may go back to the phones. So now's your chance. The phone lines are open. You can give me a call. Jump into the queue. The number to reach me at 833-2-ASK-DEAN. 833, the numeral 2, ask Dean. Talk to Misty. She'll treat you right. And then you and we can talk about what's going on with your home. Until then, we are right in the middle of a little show we call Common Listener Questions, where Tina is basically
has compiled a list of the kind of questions that we hear again and again and again and again, and so they make it into kind of this elite list. So without any further ado, Tina, fire away.
Okay, so the next one I think is a good one too. Why do I need that ugly air gap for my dishwasher?
Oh, the air gap. The air gap. Why do you need it? Why do any of us need it? Yeah, believe me, as a designer, as a builder, I don't care. Okay, it's just a necessary evil. As a designer, I care a lot. We try and get air gaps hidden or tucked away, or All right, so the air gap, that's that little cylindrical thing. It's usually covered with a stainless, what looks like a stainless steel or a chrome cap, sitting right next to your kitchen faucet on the edge of your sink, and it gurgles when your dishwasher drains. So here's the thing. The whole point of the air gap is very simply this: to provide a disconnect between the water that is draining out of the dishwasher and any sewage backups or issues that may take place inside the sewer line. The reason is because what if for some reason your sewer lines, your drain lines back up? What if they get clogged? And what if that backup starts rising up in the pipes all the way into, let's say, your kitchen sink, okay? Now, if it happens in your kitchen sink, you can get to it. You can clean it out and, sanitize it later. But your dishwasher is connected to drain into the P-trap area just below your kitchen sink. So that backup also then would lead into the dishwasher drain line and down into the sensitive parts of your dishwasher. In other words, sewage inside your dishwasher, which is never a good idea as far as dissipating or now circulating that contaminated water onto all your dishes. So, therefore, the air gap. What the air gap does, what you can't see, is literally what it says. It is a gap. The line is broken with an airspace, so that if the sewer backed up, what would happen is it would overflow the sink and you would see it coming out of that air gap area, but it would come out there and not proceed down into the discharge line of the dishwasher. It has to be high up. In fact, it has to be up above the highest receptacle of water in the area, which is the sink. That's why it has to sit up above the sink level, because it's higher than the actual maximum level of water that the sink can hold. There are and have been many ways of trying to resolve it. We can eliminate an air gap with what we call a high loop up underneath the countertop. Talk to 10 plumbers. You're going to get 10 different opinions about whether the high loop is a good idea or not. Right now, all I can tell you, in the state of California and in Southern California municipalities, air gaps are required. There's just no way around it, so position it in the most attractive way possible and deal with it. And I can tell you this, of all the other creative solutions, the air gap is still the most efficient and best device in regards to protecting your dishwasher. We don't want it to be a mechanical device because mechanical devices can fail. So it is a non-mechanical device that just sits there. It'll never fail because it doesn't have to move. It just does what it does. All right, there you go. Next.
Okay. Kind of in the water category. Does a tankless water heater give me instant hot water?
No, it does not. That's another confusing thing. Tankless water heaters, you hear them advertised all the time. Tankless hot water, it's a whole new way of having hot water. That's true. What a tankless water heater does is it gives you endless hot water, not instant hot water, okay? Endless hot water means that there's no tank on the tankless water heater, and when it's sized properly for your home, it will simply keep cranking out hot water. Cold water enters one side, it goes through an elaborate coil system with a lot of flame against that coil, and by the time it reaches the other side of the water heater, it is at hot temperature, which means that you can take a 2-hour shower, and then I can take a 2-hour shower, and then somebody else can take a 2-hour shower. Why is there a third person in our house, Tina, taking a 2-hour shower? I do not know, but they can, and they will stay in our house because the hot water won't run out. However, when the hot water in your home is not being used, it sits in the pipes. And as it sits in the pipes between the water heater and the faucet, it's going to cool off, right? This is the classic turn on the faucet. You don't have instant hot water. We all sit there and we let the water run for a minute until it starts to heat up. That is purging off that cooled off water until the new hot water reaches the faucet, okay? The only way to avoid that is to A, repipe your house so that your hot water is on a circulating system. That means that not only do hot water lines run to your faucet location, but there's a hot water line that runs away from it back to the heater, and then there's a recirculating pump that keeps the hot water moving in the lines all the time, and thereby, every time you turn on the water, the hot is right there, okay? The other solution is to put what we call an instant hot device underneath the sink that preheats the first minute or so of water electrically underneath the sink until the actual hot water shows up. And the third way to do it